what the desire is, and it's what's causing me to push and work even harder. But I also don't want to put my mindset in a mind of desperate. You feel me? So I do what it is that I know I'm supposed to do. I walk in the calling that I know I was called to do. And I'm just, whatever happens, understand that whatever change come, it's for my greatness. And to know, listen, anytime God closes a door, he sure enough cracked the window.
Zeno's Master Beats.
Now, before we get into it, just a heads up. I am not a mental health professional. What I share here is based on personal experiences and opinions. If you are dealing with a serious mental health crisis, you need to speak to someone immediately. Reach out to a professional. They know exactly what to do to help you. The information and advice that I give are for general insights, not a substitute for personal help. Please understand that your choices are your own. Now, let's do this journey together and remember, it's all about personal growth. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello, 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 my beautiful butterflies. Now, I'm hoping that on this episode we can do better with the video quality. With the mic quality. I'm trying to get that thing together. I am so excited to be here. Welcome to Becoming a Butterfly Podcast. And if this is your not your first time being here, welcome back. And if it's your first time, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Brain started moving a little slow, but it's okay. We're going to keep it moving, and we ain't editing. We're going to keep it going. I am so excited to be here, my butterflies. Welcome to Becoming a Butterfly Podcast, the place where it's never too late to become your better self. I am your host, Christina Butterfly, also known as Chrissy the Artist, and I'm so excited to be here. I love doing this. Like, this is my favorite thing in the world to do. Once I understood that this is my purpose and this is my calling, it made sense why I love it so much, right? So today we're going to talk about episode 18. First of all, can we just start feeding into that we're on episode 18 with this thing, huh? I can't help but to be proud of myself. I can't help but to be extremely proud that no matter what circumstances or situations, weeks I might have to miss, whatever happened, I never quit. I did not quit. Like, I keep figuring out this is my thing, so I'm going to keep showing up. I want to change my life. I want to change my income. I want to change my freedom. Okay? And so, on the way to do that is to go in a place that's creating abundance and wealth and unlimited income, right? All right. So today on episode 18, we're going to talk about mastering mindfulness. And if you see me looking down, that's because I am looking at my notes. Your girl smoke weed, okay? We ain't going to even act like I remember everything. We ain't doing that, okay? We ain't doing that. So I got a script, okay? Mastering your mindfulness and thriving in uncertain times, okay? Listen, We all know about uncertain times, okay? And we have seen a lot of, I know I watched a lot of entrepreneurs soar through the pandemic, right? But then after a while, they didn't know how to keep up. They didn't know how to handle it, how to deal with it. And over half of the businesses that started during the pandemic is now over, right? So we want to be able to not just start things and build things up and create new things, but you also want to be able to sustain it and be able to still keep it going even when things happen in life. All right? I know what it is to give up, y'all, because I was the queen of it. Now, of course, you know how we do every week. We are going to go over last week's because more than likely it was a couple weeks. It wasn't just last week, but hopefully this will be last week. But last week episode, or should we say episode 17, we talked about unveiling authentic living. I gave you practical steps to embody your truth, okay? Because that's the only way to really live your life authentically. All right, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. One thing I love about being a Gemini, it makes it easier to accept both sides of you when that's you what you had your whole life. You feel what I'm saying? It's always been two sides of me. And one side can be a little bit worse than the other, but it's always who I've always been, and as a kid, it was difficult being raised by a saved, sanctified mom who believes in the mindset of hell, thinking that all these parts of me was going to have me burning in eternity for the rest of my life. But when I learned to embrace and to love all parts of me, you feel what I'm saying? To work on that shadow side of me. Without that shadow side, I don't know what else to work on to get better, to grow. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and to understand that anybody who tell you they perfect, run. Because they are lying, clean through their teeth. You understand? They clean through their teeth, they lying. There's nobody that's perfect. Nobody. All right. So we have to learn to accept that. And so that means that we have to accept ourselves in every capacity. Like showing up on here on social media, you see the fakery and the fraud, and y'all going to start noticing over time that those things is going to start breaking down and deteriorating because it's impossible to keep up. The whole mindset of the perfection is impossible to keep up. Okay. So there are steps and ways to be able to embody your truth. Even the parts of you that you're not really proud of, understand without those parts, you wouldn't be who you are today. I'm just saying. I'm going to create me I think a Patreon so I could be able to go in details about certain things, that I have to kind of censor myself on YouTube, and as well as, my loved ones and my family and friends, I don't want to alienate them too much, but I might be doing that anyway come next season. Last week, step 1, we talked about authentic living, being real about your situation and your circumstances. Now, get this. I'm not saying you got to run around and scream to the world what's going on in your life. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, number one, being honest with yourself about your circumstances and your situation. Being honest, completely honest. I have a friend that I care about deeply. I really care about him. And he has a drinking problem, a real bad drinking problem. He doesn't see it. For the life of him, he does not see it's a problem. I seen one time where his baby mom called him and needed him because she couldn't find their 13-year-old son. And he was too intoxicated to even comprehend what the heck she was even talking about. You feel what I'm saying? And it was like he like had to figure it out. And I was literally just not understanding that you are running around with foggy glasses on and you've been wearing these glasses for so long, you think this is how you're supposed to see. And it's absolutely not. Like I can see that you can have so much more and such a better life and such more of a happier life. But he'll tell you quick, drinking's my thing. That's what I love to do. He's authentic in his honesty if that's what he's loving to do, but he won't admit that he has a problem. See, it's easier to stand in your truth. Admitting that you have a problem don't necessarily mean you got to change everything right away. But that honesty shows up and you can't help but to shift after a while. That's why they say in NA, the first step is to admit and to be honest and say, this is my problem. This is the issue. But authenticity don't just work on finding out the problems that you have. You also got to be authentic in the things you know you good at. Because how about we don't even do that? We minimize the things that we know we're excellent in. You know, one thing I love about Christianity is faith, the pure essence of faith, and believing that this thing that you want so much is very possible to come true. Now, what they don't teach a lot about is where the Bible talks about how faith without works is dead, which means that those ideas and those feelings and those thoughts that come to mind is how that thing manifests to reality. The faith part is believing that doing this work when you're not seeing nothing yet, that you understand that I can't give up because on the other end of this, I believe, I have faith that on the other end of this is my freedom. But without the works and just the faith, you're just in make believe. You're still stuck in dreamland. Like the dream is just to give you the blueprint. The dream is just to give you that, oof, that's what it could look like. Too many times we have these dreams and we think that it's just dreams, and it's not. It's the blueprint to our freedom. But it starts with being authentically and honest and true about the things that you love to do. That thing that you would do that would cost you absolutely nothing. I will make somebody a bottle art quick. And because I know the time and the effort and the energy that it takes to create it, either you gonna get it as a gift, because if you pay for it, it's gonna cost you. That's why I do it when I love to do it. I had to figure out another way to be able to afford to do the crafts that I love to do. That's why God blessed me and told me to put everything I got and everything I have into doing this podcast and allow growing and building this podcast. And once this podcast creates me income, then I can take that invested in Chrissy O's arts, because that's what I love, and I would do it for free. Now, I was put in a situation of being on Social Security. So all I had to do was maneuver and figure out how I'm going to make this little bit of income work. Right? That's what I had to figure out what to do. What is free? What do I absolutely have to pay for? You feel what I'm saying? Think that God, I'm on subsidy, housing, but I still have actual bills I have to pay. So just knowing that I had to start living authentically. I had to start living an authentic life in order for me to find purpose, because being stuck on Social Security, you can really get lost. But if you have a 9 to 5 that you're going to work in every day, but you have a dream, that 9 to 5, honey, you can use to finance that dream. Stop just letting it go. Stop thinking that your only purpose is to get up and work for whoever you working for and that's it. No. Now, you want to make that dream go faster. Make sure you stick to becoming a butterfly podcast. Step 2, embodying your truth. We talked a little bit about that. You know, a part of that authentic living is embodying your truth. The good, the bad, the ugly, just take it in. Just accept it, okay? All right? I accept the fact that I can be extremely petty. I have to accept that. You feel what I'm saying? I have to accept the fact that I'm extremely emotional. But I also am not afraid of confrontation. You understand what I'm saying? I also understand that I'm very emotional for a reason, because that's where I make my decisions at. And so the more I understand and feel all these emotions, now I have to learn to navigate it and control it. And that's what we're going to talk about today on episode 18. We're going to dive deep into being able to how to master mindfulness. Okay. And listen, I'm telling y'all, ain't no such thing as perfection. These skills are skills I would continually have to work on for the rest of my life. There are areas that I elevate and get great at, and there's areas that I still continue have to work on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my patience is not good. And this one thing that I must have, especially in wanting to be a mindset coach and a motivational speaker, like, I have to be patient. I have to be. And I'm going to continually be put in situations for me to constantly work on my patience. Right? So this is why we get school tools. But first, you got to be honest about it, and you got to embody your truth. And then you got to start living authentically. Now, let me tell y'all something. That I'm not going to act like that's not easy. I've been called weird, isolated, by myself, alone, more times than I can count. But I can tell you this: the people that get me, the people that fool with me, the people that love me, the people that fucks with me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they learn to love and appreciate the person that I am completely and wholly. I also understood that I had to take a whole lot more time breaking down, learning, and understanding me. And let me tell y'all something. The Bible didn't help me do it. Once I got the tools from other avenues, the Bible made more sense to me. And now I'm able to navigate and understand the Bible a whole lot more now than I ever was before. Ever. And I don't know where that came from, but it came out, so it needed to be said. Living authentic in your truth might make other people uncomfortable. That's not your business. It's not your business. I'm going to tell you something. When I started living my truth authentically and standing what my beliefs are, and also having wisdom, you feel what I'm saying? I'm not about to go in my mom's house, who's 70 years old, and about to tell her the way she raised me, I'm you this wrong and that wrong and this that and that. No. I'm cool. Like, today in my life, it's about peace. You understand what I'm saying? And just like I'm not expecting, if my children make decisions, decide to say that they're going to have different faiths and different beliefs and different whatever, that I'm expecting for them to come to me and browbeat me about what they think I'm supposed to be living, is no more than I'm going to do that to my mother. And not even more important than that, I understand that God, because I firmly believe in God give us the tools that we need to survive the life we have to live during that period of life. You understand me? But as the world change and as the energy change and as we are fed more information, how we are more connected into the matrix than we have ever have been, it's the time now that we have to start looking on how we survive in this world. And so one of the ways truly is living your life authentically for you, not what somebody else believes for you, but what you believe is your higher self. I have a friend who he don't believe in God at all. Now, for me, I can't be in a relationship with a man who don't believe in God, but that doesn't make me dislike him or love him even less. It's just me knowing that we will never be like in a real relationship. It just could not happen. I cannot ever feel comfortable with you leading my life if you don't believe that there is a God, a higher being, something outside of you. Once you start living authentic, you start realizing that you're going to step forward when you have an authentic journey. Like your journey becomes authentic. It starts to feel good. I knew when I got out of jail and got paroled here to Trenton that working, I tried. I did. I tried. I worked at Family Dollar and I missed a week of work and have no to this day. I still don't have no memory of what the heck happened. I also at the time was still very much in various addictions and mindsets and just really struggling and in a terrible relationship. But I kind of always knew that I wasn't built for to work. It just never worked for me. I didn't understand it until, I learned about my human design. And then once I learned my human design, God, it made so much sense. It made so much sense. So much sense. But not living my authentic truth left me in torment. It left me in a mindset of always wanting to self-harm and always wanting to, and I always related to, I just want to get home to my dad, when the truth is that I was living a life I was conditioned to live, and it was not authentic to my design and to my energy, to my spirit. It wasn't who I was created to be. And so I'm living this life that conditioned me to be this thing that I'm not. And so I had to go through a process of deconditioning. And when that starts happening, you start showing up in your true selves. Now, I didn't know that I was going through a deconditioning. All I knew is that I got to do what I love to do. And what I love to do is create and to make art. And I also love community. But I also love isolation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's why he made me a Gemini. Because I have to learn to love both. I have to learn how to love to be in community. People didn't understand how I can be socially awkward and an introvert, right? But I used to get paid to be the hype girl to dance in clubs. And we talking about regular clubs. Shout out to Club Foreplay, Philly. You know what I'm talking about. But in like regular, like the neighborhood clubs, they paid me to come in to be, because I could dance my ass off. I could tear the doggone floor up, yo. At least back in the day, like I really could. Like that was my thing. And knowing, like it didn't make sense to people. Now it made perfectly good sense to me because I'm a Gemini. So for me, I can be here. I could be in the middle of this floor. I can be the center of the attention with no problem. But as after this is over, oh, and the crowd, oh no, I have to go. I need to be in a DJ booth. I need to be in a safe area because it's too much. It's that I can. It's almost like I consume. I can feel everybody energy. It just used to be a lot. Understanding that when you start living in your authentic truth, living authentically, authenticity shows up in your journey in life. All right. Also, understanding the importance of journaling, however way it works for you. Okay, I told y'all I need prompts. Don't give me no book with blank paper. A book with blank paper for me is taking notes. I must be. We about to listen to something, and I need to take some notes. Okay. Other than that, I need some prompts. I need for you to give me a direction. You feel what I'm saying? And I am currently creating. I am currently creating journals. Um, Yeah, we about to step this thing up. We gonna have some product coming next season, and yeah, when I take these next 6 8 weeks off because after episode 20, I'll be taking a break, and it's really to take time to build up the back end and revamp and whatever it is I need to do that I need to learn. It's being able to take time out to do that. So, but you better believe. Better believe your girl. We'll be back with the next 20 episodes, okay? All right? That's how we're gonna do. We're gonna do 20 episodes break. 20 episodes break, right? All right. Because this thing ain't a race. It's a marathon. Now, after you doing your authenticity, you living in your journey, you writing in your journal, doing self-reflections and taking action. That's the point of the journal. Okay? You want to self-reflect, but you want to make sure you take action because faith without works is dead. And that was number 5, self-reflection and going to work. I was talking about having this podcast for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to keep it real 100. One of the reasons why it was so long for me to start was because I couldn't figure out how to have the money to, and I had this vision and all this, other ways. You feel what I'm saying? And God provided a way. Provided a way. Allowed me. I haven't been eligible for a credit card in whoo. Because I'm a risk taker. I am. I am a bungee jumper, risk taker, terrified to do it, but would do it terrified. Okay. And so I would go in debt with faith and believing that I will get myself up out of debt because that's just a transition. Like money is energy. Like I have to create the information to draw the money to me. I can't be calling for the money. Like, no, I gotta call for what I need, and the money is just with the avenue to get me there, right? So I just kept putting in the energy and kept putting in the belief and kept putting in the faith. And here it is out of nowhere. Now I get eligible for this credit card that not only gave me the money to be able to invest in my business, but also gave me the money to be able to go on a cruise to celebrate my cousins getting married and to enjoy this thing so much. And let me tell you how life happens, right? Because crazy that I didn't mention this. But before we go into the next segment. I just celebrated my 45th birthday. And I can't even tell you how wonderful and such a up and down roller coaster week I had for my birthday. Like I can't even begin to talk about the whole deal today. But what I will say is that that same cousin that I sacrificed and did everything I could to get to his wedding and enjoyed going to these. I always wanted to go to the Bahamas and I finally got to go, right? But that thing wasn't cheap and it was not easy, you know? So when my party comes, because my birthday was June 12th, and on it was a Wednesday, so I did what I wanted to start writing my book, which I did, and I wanted to go and do my self-care on my birthday. So I want to go get my feet done, and because this is a ritual that I want to create, and that is for me to do my self-care on the 12th of every single month. Like that is something that I truly, truly, truly want to do, right? So I said, this is starting it, this doing it. So that's what I did. And so my birthday come, and I love surprises. I'm a girl. I love to be surprised. Be careful what you say you love, okay? Be careful what you ask for. So here it is. It's my party day, and y'all, I spent my last for this party. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I was holding it safe. I was like, I want. But I also knew I didn't want to do anything the day of, and I didn't spend it everything by myself. Thank God my three of my children just really, 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 really stepped up, like really stepped up. And so I come out and the day going, now y'all, I made this flyer and my flyer said that the party started at 2. Okay, that's what my flyer said, that my party started at 2. So I'm in here and I'm waiting. I'm waiting. The tattoo artist family shows up. I wanted the tattoo artist to be there before 2:00. Tattoo artist get there at 4. So he texts me, now, y'all, none of my family shows up yet. None of my friends there. None of my friends came. My brother, shout out to my brother, he showed up because he heard his sister crying. I caught him crying. I caught him crying like nobody came to my party. I felt like the little kid who nobody liked in class and nobody showed up. Like that's legit how I felt as a grown woman. And I am balling, y'all. I'm balling. Now I'm ready to go and my kids won't let me. And then I should have known something. Because my daughter was like, Mom, I ordered you a bottle, but it's Instacart. And I'm like, well, what Instacart? Like this bottle taking hours, y'all. Kids wouldn't let me go to bed. No nothing. So I'm sitting on the step and I'm telling myself, well, I can't do it. My kids spent their money too. They bought me this beautiful chair you see behind me. Yes, you must go on to my Facebook or Instagram. I mean, you'll see the chair. It was amazing that my babies did this. Oh, I ruined this surprise. Oh, yes, because now I'm walking around mad. Nobody showed up. I'm walking around looking like, where's the tattoo artist? My daughter said 3:00 he was going to come. 3:00, come and go. So I goes upstairs, and my daughter's in the back room putting the chair together. I open the door, I ruined the surprise. Now I'm pissed because what I say, I love surprises, right? So now I am mad. And I'm snapping on my son because I asked my son, did your sister tell you what a tattoo artist was? He was like, no. Now, you know your mother. You know if you tell me no, your mom gonna find out, right? And you know you just left your sister sneaking trying to put this chair together. You let me go ask her. So now I'm mad at him. And I'm just fussing. And I'm just like, oh, I just ruined my own birthday party. It's getting later and later. And I'm sitting on that step. And if you go on my social media, you will see, like, you'll see me boo-hooing, crying. You will see it. Y'all, them same cousins, that same cousin that I traveled over to another country to support, One of my closest little cousins, Taryn, like they just shout out to my tribe. EO and Taryn and Miguel, and shout out to my cousin Sheila because she wanted to be there and she was there in spirit. Like, I listen, y'all, my birthday, my party was a manifestation of what I truly wanted, down to my phoenix on my back. I promise you guys, when you start being honest and truthful and authentic and start living in your truth, honey, you will start to see ways of your dream being possible to manifest into reality. All right, y'all. So let me ask you a question. How do you handle change in your life? And what tools do you use to do well when things start to change? Do you know what tools you go to? Like, is it, I know a lot of times my mother would tell me to pray about it, right? And we all know prayer's real. But I didn't also understand that it wasn't just the prayer, it was the mindset, it's the belief of it. It's the, you feel what I'm saying? I had to learn how to pray right. And I had to learn how to be able to meditate to receive the information that I'm praying about. For a long time, every time my mother would tell me to pray about it, I will be so livid. Be like, he don't talk to me like he talked to you, ma'am. But no one taught me that it's like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, yes, you pray, but you also got to sit in meditation. And there's a way you do that. And you have to incorporate that way for you, for yourself. But it's a give and take. It's a conversation. You feel what I'm saying? And these how and listening to that quiet whisper of that voice that you think don't make no sense. Change is always going to happen. Change is a part of life. We all have to face it. How we deal with change can really affect our lives. It can affect what happens to us. It can affect our happiness. Now, I handle life's ups and downs by incorporating tools. There's some tools that I got to work on a little harder, and there's some tools that does its job when it's supposed to. Using a few of these strategies that we about to talk about today really worked for me over the years. Guys, listen, I have not tried to self-harm since 2015. Was the last time I tried to harm myself. Okay. And this YouTube. So that's as deep as I can go. But understand that, it took these tools in order for me to get from a place of just not wanting to be here anymore, just begging God to let me go to sleep and not let me wake up, to can't wait to go to sleep so I can wake up and do something new. Okay. Every day I no longer, and I'm not on medication besides my weed. I'm but I'm not on any mental health medication except for my weed and my Adderall. And that's just to help keep me focused and keep me with energy because of my human design. I don't have the same amount of energy as other people. So I can't work the same amount of hours as a lot of people. So sometimes I have to boost myself and give myself the energy I need because I'm not surrounded around a lot of generators for me to get their energy from them. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, And you need to get into human design. And we will talk about it. We are going to dive all the way deep into human design. So we're going to talk about in this episode mindfulness. We're going to talk about uncertainties, values, acceptance, and meaning. All right, so understanding change and its impact. What does change mean to you? How does change affect people in different ways? And what are some common challenges with change? What are your some common challenges with change? I know for me, I don't like how it feels when change happens abruptly. It's almost like the ground was just moved from underneath your foot. And all of a sudden you got to readjust and figure it out. But I also completely understand that with change comes growth. And because I love surprises, I that double side of me, that one side that hates change is another side that's excited about what's possibly going to happen. But a lot of times we stop ourselves from elevating and reaching the next level because we're afraid of change. And the truth is that is where your freedom lies. If you don't change, if life don't change, if circumstances don't change, how are you going to grow? But this is the thing. It's going to change anyway. It's going to change anyway. So if you don't learn and start to understand mindfulness and embracing it and understanding that change is going to happen, uncertainty is going to happen. You feel what I'm saying? It's so many times I have I have a brother. He's been in my life since I was 6. He's one of the most talented men I know. One of the smartest, most compassionate, caring human being I know. But he allows circumstances and things that's going to happen to life anyway. And not to say, and he has gone through a lot, but he doesn't allow what he's gone through to be fuel to help elevate him into position to be able to fix those things. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he can't see it. He can't, and no matter, and I can tell in speaking to him that he doesn't even have the mindset for me to say to him that you're allowing life circumstances to keep you from living your dreams, and not even understanding that your life circumstances should be fooling you to go even harder on your dreams, so that because what he wants to do is amazing. Like, he's into music and beats. He can do it with his eyes closed, engineering, all of those. You feel what I'm saying? He's also into growing and agriculture. He's amazing at growing weed. Like, his gifts and his skills can get him to be multi-millions. But he keep going through things and going through circumstances and not understanding that these things happening to you in life is teaching you how to be stronger, because having a business is not easy. If you can't get through life's ups and downs, then you ain't gonna be able to get through business ups and downs. But it takes it takes tools and skills and practicing, being mindful, looking for the meaning in the transition, looking for a way of being able to say, you know what, this is for a purpose, this is for a circumstance. You know, I still in the back of my mind have this fear of my housing in some way or another is going to try to force me to move out of my house. And so I been looking at worst case scenario, doing whatever it is that if this search, I'm preparing myself mentally, giving different circumstances, different situations, different ways of allowing it to be at peace just in case, while still doing the steps and the things that I need to want to do to try. Because I don't want to leave my house. I want to be in a position to where I can build this business up and buy my house. That's what I want to do. That is what the goal is. That is what the desire is. And it's what's causing me to push and work even harder. But I also don't want to put my mindset in a mind of desperate. You feel me? So I do what it is that I know I'm supposed to do. I walk in the calling that I know I was called to do. And I'm just, whatever happens, understand that whatever change come, it's for my greatness. And to know, listen, anytime God closes a door, he sure enough cracked the window. He's not going to just close one situation and not have another situation prepared for you. You understand? So just finding meaning in the transition and understanding what it is I need to do. What role does thinking about or experiencing play in finding meaning? Like, what is that? What is this experience? Like, what meaning is this? What am I supposed to learn? Because that's what happens a lot of times. I tell people, if you find yourself stuck in a situation, what is it that you're supposed to be learning from it? We're more worried about the problem. You're more complaining about the problem. But you're not really focused on what it is that you're supposed to be learning out of the situation. Because it's not the person. It's the situation. It's the energy. It's that thing. Especially if you keep finding yourself going through the same thing over and 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 over again. Understand that. Okay? When you start learning how to find meaning, when you start giving examples, looking for people who found purpose in their life through things they have gone through. Look at me. Listen. Because of all the trauma that I have overcome in my life is the reason why I'm able to sit here and do this podcast and be confident and stand in knowing that I can help other people live and find their purpose and live and stand in their truth, because I had to go through it to get here. But I also understood that I had to build up resilience. It gave me some strength, y'all. Listen, the things that I have gone through in life to get me here, when this podcast take off and I gotta start going and being in other energies and I've already been prepared. I've already been prepared, y'all. So whatever gets thrown at me, and I am not saying that I'm not gonna cry about it, or it's not gonna hurt me, or I'm not gonna feel some type of way. Absolutely. But when I wake up the next day, it's back to work. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, for me, depending on the circumstances of the situation, you got from 24 hours to 1 week max. And that 1 week is a death in a family, a loved one. You understand what I'm saying? Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. There are some exceptions to the rule. You feel what I'm saying? Because a parent should never have to bury their child. So situations like that, you might need 30 days. But you have to also understand that your kid or that loved one would never want you to give up what you worked so hard for. That's not giving them honor. That's not giving them grace. That's not telling them that you love them and that you miss them and that you honor them by giving up on life. You feel what I'm saying? So even in the worst case scenario, you still got to figure out a way to show up. So building resilience now can help prepare you. All right. So let's get into the steps. Let's get into these 5 steps. And before we get into the 5 steps, let me ask you a question. Did you subscribe? Because see, I got some folks sitting watching my videos, but you're not subscribing, huh? I need you to take a moment to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, honey. Make sure you hit that like button so you can let YouTube know that you like a girl and that you want to keep seeing me, because this is a baby channel and I'm trying to start walking. Okay. So make sure you make sure that you hit that subscribe button, that you click that like button. And listen, I need you to leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this episode. Listen, if there was something in this episode that made you feel or made you think or made you want to just take action, something you struggle with, let's talk about it. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Okay? So we can start building a community together. All right? That's what I need you to do. Oh, and please, if you know someone who needs to hear this, I need you to share this to 3 of your friends that you know need to hear this message. You've been seeing them struggle. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to tell our friends what you see they need, what they need. You know what they're struggling with. Send them this video. You don't want to tell them, I'll tell them. Okay? All right, so let's get into step 1. Step 1 is practicing mindfulness and being present. Let me tell y'all something. Before I sit down and record this podcast, I do a mindfulness every time. I pray, and I go in solitude. I listen, I hear, I tell myself that I'm safe, that it's okay. You feel what I'm saying? That I'm not doing this for the algorithm. You know, like I tell myself that whatever happens from this video, once I release it, it goes to where it's supposed to go. It will do what it's supposed to do. I'm brand new at this. I'll go look at videos later and be like, oh my goodness, I added too much color. It's too much this. It's too much that. How am I supposed to learn if I don't mess up? And I'm not taking them down. I'm not. Their videos going to stay just like that. That's how I'm going to find out later on who really, really rides with me, because you're going to sit and watch them videos just because you know you're going to learn something from it and realize that I got greater later. But practicing mindfulness, it also gets you out of that panic mindset, right? It gets you out of that mindset of feeling like the world is over. You know, it gives you an anchor. A lot of times we get overwhelmed and upset about things that we absolutely can't do anything about. You know, that's completely out of our control, that affects you directly, but you can't do anything about it. And you get yourself all caught up and all overwhelmed. My cousin was telling me recently, my older cousin Sheila, shout out to Sheila, she was saying to me how she remembered when she was be going through situations on trying to paying her rent on time and keeping it going, and always put herself through this panic. But what ended up happening is the same thing. The landlord gives her the eviction. She goes down to court. They come up with a payment plan. She does the payment plan. And once she gets and everything goes right back, and she's just like, I just put myself through a whole panic over a routine. I know what's going to happen. And I said to her, I said, the panic is the anger of being in a position again. See, we had to learn to recognize, you think it's for this reason, it's the panic. No, if you really dissect that panic, it's why the hell am I back here again? You feel what I'm saying? And once we start recognizing that, then you can be, oh, this won't even be a panic no more, because this ain't going to happen no more. Now, it's not an overnight thing. You feel what I'm saying? I know this for sure. But once we start recognizing or analyzing what the issue and what the problem is, sometimes it's walking away from something God keep trying to rip away from us. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. But practicing mindfulness and being present gives you clarity. Because once you start recognizing that, you know what? Right now, I'm safe. Right now, this very moment, I'm safe. Let me just clear my mind, clear it out. Meditation, breathing techniques, identification, and just literally sitting there and everything you look at, identify, that this is my present, this is the room I am currently safe. Right now, the second, my life isn't in danger. Mindfulness techniques, it helps bring down the nervous system so that you can be able to breathe and feel and think clearly, right? Practicing mindfulness anchors yourself in the present moment. Through mindfulness, to understand your emotions and thoughts clearly, it enables you to be intentional about what your going to next step is. You're able to be intentional about your response. When change is happening right before your eyes. And in order for you to grow, you got to accept the change. The good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, you got to. One of the things I currently have an issue with is going into meditation before the 0 to 100. I usually end up having to meditate at the 100 to bring me back down to 0, as opposed to start meditating when I start feeling the 0 elevating up to 100. But if I never practice mindfulness, I wouldn't even know that's the issue I got to work with today. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the benefit of practicing mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness also allows you to be able to move into step 2 a lot easier, and that's embracing uncertainty as growth. See, approach the unknown with curiosity. Make it a priority. Ensuring your actions are aligned with them to provide stability and direction during transition. So let's read this again. Step 2, embracing uncertainty as growth. Approach the unknown with curiosity and openness, recognizing change as an opportunity for new perspectives and personal growth. Y'all just witnessed one of my dyslexias. I will combine sentences together and then I have to step back and look at it again and break it down. But step 2 is embracing uncertainty as growth. Approach the unknown as curiosity. Let me tell y'all something. You hear what I said? I love surprises. Sometimes I worry about people be like, I hate surprises. Because I feel like that's a control, just needing control. And life is so much out of our control. So the only thing we can focus on, only thing we can hold on, only thing we can know for sure, right, is what we are capable of doing for ourselves, right? I can have all the dreams and aspirations for my kid that I want to, as all I want. But as they grow up and become their own selves, they going to do what they want to do no matter what my dream is for them. And I know a lot of times as parents, that's another change. A lot of times as parents, we don't want to accept it. This is like the worst thing in the world. And we're fighting against something that's automatically going to happen. And how do we know? Because are you still with your parent? Are you the exact person your parent wanted you to be? Are you the exact You understand what I'm saying? Like, and even if you close, you still ain't perfect. And you certainly probably didn't get to where you got the ways they expected you to get there or how they thought you can get there. So the quicker you learn to start to teach yourself to say, you know what? Instead of being terrified about what the change is going to come, start getting excited. I wonder what new adventures is about to happen to me now. Like, I really want to know. You know what terrifies me? Living in Trenton and being in such this town is so small. And to meet people who never left Trenton. To meet people who've never been from West Trenton to North Trenton or from North Trenton to West Trenton. Like, the thought of a city is this Trenton is 8 miles, 7 miles long. Not even 8. You know, and to that type of isolation, Lord. So embracing change and uncertainty and putting it in my head that, listen, I'm going to turn this, I'm going to be curious, I'm going to be open to whatever come. And to understand that, what's that old saying? Chew the meat and spit out the bone. What ain't for you ain't for you. Just because you're going into a new atmosphere don't mean you got to accept everything that comes to you. No. Use your wisdom. Create them boundaries. Use your discernment. Understand how you create it. Learn how you are supposed to maneuver through this world. Step 3. Align with your core values. Align with your core values. Listen, them boundaries. You feel what I'm saying? We talked about a few episodes ago the importance of creating them boundaries. Understanding what you will do, what you won't do, and move for align to that. What are your goals? How do you align to it? Strategy. Not just creating the codes, but creating a strategy to accomplish the goal. Right? How do I start work? What's the first start? What do I need to do to get to there? Okay? Reflect on your values and priorities. Ensuring your actions are aligned with them to provide stability and direction during transition. Reflect on your values. Make sure your priorities. I used to tell my kids, I said this on last week episode, that my favorite quote from the great debaters: do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. All right. So make sure that you are aligned and living the life, doing the things that you need to do so you can live the life that you want to do. Be your example. You feel what I'm saying? Without being perfect. Because you can't. You can't. So just align up in your truth. If you saying you want to start this business, start the business. You worried about the finish line, you ain't even get started yet. Just worry about one foot in front of the other. You know, any of my drivers out there, if you're driving down a dark road, you can't be concerned about what you can't see. The only thing you can be concerned about is what the headlights touch. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you're trying to look beyond them headlights, you're going to crash. You can't. So focus what's right in front of you. Align up to your core values. Make sure you understand and you know what that is. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you will and will not accept. So can't nobody come and disrupt and disturb or nothing of what you're doing. And when things get hard, you have those core values that can bring you back in line. All right? Step 4 is one of my favorites, and it is cultivating radical acceptance. You got to accept your certain circumstance and situation. You got to. I had to stop going live. And I enjoy going live. I had to stop going live. I don't have the equipment to allow me to be able to go live. And it's a smooth, I just don't. And the distortion is just too much. It's just too much. So instead of continually to do something that's just not feeling good, I had to accept the reality. I had to have radical acceptance that this is not feasible right now. And it's not to say that it won't ever be feasible. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it will get a time, your girl creating product. I'm doing the things that I need to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm setting up to be able to do one-on-one coaching and having courses and having services to be able to help people one-on-one, right? And create the income so that I can be able to get the equipment to upgrade, right? So that your girl, when I go live, and guess what happens by the time all these things happen and I'm ready to go live? At that time, I have the audience that will really be there to listen, and I'll have the video quality that connects all with it. But I had to come to some acceptance. I couldn't just keep showing up and keep trying to do something. It just wasn't working, And that's just something small. Just in life things in general. Like, it's times that you just have to take a step back, acknowledge change without judgment, understanding that your responses to circumstances is within your control. Let me read that again. Understanding that your response to circumstances is within your control. I'm currently going through something with one of my daughters, a daughter that we just made up. And I had to decide how I was going to respond to the situation. And I had to understand that I had to, for my mental health, for my sanity, I had to just do what was best for me. And that's my child, but she grown. So I have to do what's best for me at the moment, right? That is the most peaceful and productive for my sanity. Because, see, I'm a person who's not afraid to deal with confrontation, but we also have to use our discernment, right? Learning how to cultivate that radical acceptance help you get to that real quick, real fast. Because I told y'all, like, I can be real petty. Would it be benefit? She live in Philadelphia, I live in Trenton. Me losing my mind, going ballistic, screaming in my phone, whatever it is still, it's no benefit to me right now. It's no point of none of it. Ain't gonna change what happened. It not at this, it is what it is, right at this moment. So I had to make the best decision I had to make for myself, and that was to disconnect and not engage. Period. Radical acceptance. Okay. Last but certainly not least, find meaning in your journey. This podcast is my meaning to my journey. The life that I'm living moving forward is the meaning to my journey. View transitions as a journey of self-discovery and growth, seeking meaning in every experience and connecting authentically with others for support and camaraderie. I can never say that word. For support and love and community. Guys, listen. Nothing in life is happening to you, to us, to me, but it's happening for us. That's why I so try to remember to close every podcast episode with that, because that's my lifeline. Whatever this circumstance that's happening to me right now, it's happening for my greatness. Me spending a year in jail was for my greatness. Me being addicted to drugs was for my greatness. Me being essayed was for my greatness. It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. It happened for me to be able to elevate and to be able to grow and to be able to overcome and to understand what it is to be a survivor and to help that next sister who's currently going through what I already been through. That is why we all here. That's why things happen to us in our lives. A lot of times we ask, why me? Why not you? So you can learn how to have faith in a different way. So you can learn how to learn in a different way. So you can watch the power of God. I'm gonna tell you something real petty before we close. I lost my vape, my weed vape. And oh my God. I was in here like, what the hell? I just bought it. If anybody know anything about vapes, we know this thing is not cheap. Phil, I still haven't found it. But no sooner did I lose it, did a friend of mine send me the money that I paid for it and then some. And the whole point of me buying it was because I have a $400 deduction in my income now. And so I have to learn how to re-budget and restructure and you feel me? And so I went from going panic to stopping and saying, hold, if everything is happening for me and not to me, let me sit back. So I stopped looking for it. One of my friends hit me up, told him what happened, sent me the money for it. Still couldn't get ride to the place where I needed to go to get it. But I don't have to worry about weed. And I can link it to my income, to my next check. You feel what I'm saying? Ultimate goal, the ultimate goal is that I don't run out of weed. I got the vape pen because it lasts longer. Would I prefer the weed over the vape? Absolutely. Right? Now, yes, this is, small and petty, but however, bringing myself out of that panic mode, radically accepting the fact that I can't find it, and trusting the fact that I'm going to be okay, to have that faith and believe that the universe, God, will always provide. All right? So listen, here's a quote from one of my favorite women on this planet, Miss Michelle Obama. You should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantage. And that came from Miss Michelle Obama. Okay? Listen, guys, as you know, I absolutely love and adore you. I am so very grateful that you are joining me each and every week. And listen, if you are catching this podcast in the future and you just getting with it, I want to thank you. I want to thank you because with the grace of God, I will be at 318 when you're watching my episode 18. Okay. All right, you guys, listen, I am so grateful that you joined me this week, my beautiful butterflies. Make sure that you like this video. If you were encouraged or blessed, or if you got some tools or some gems that help you, make sure you like this video. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. What are the things that you had to learn to overcome? What are some tools? Do you have some tools that you use that I didn't talk about today? Let me know. Let's build a community, okay? And listen, if you don't watch this whole video and you ain't subscribed, I need you to go subscribe right now, okay? Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, okay? Go on, subscribe so your girl can go. And remember, guys, go subscribe so your girl can grow. And remember, nothing in life is happening to you, but it's happening for you, for your greatness. So learn what you need to learn and keep growing. All right, my butterflies, I love you.